Hi everyone, today we start our review. Ultra high-end amplification system for headphones that will just shock. Sennheiser Orpheus manufacturers, and especially this, will make owners of the latter cry nervously in the corner from envy regarding the components of the system. Low-frequency amplifier strapping of wires, the main wire for headphones. Then it's the interconnector and network cable. Well, everyone knows Hugo 2 with a streamer, which is akin to the remote control FIO11. Here it's for Hugo and our favorite Abyss 1266 PHI TC, incomparable. Well, an actually good table made of tempered glass with aluminum stands that are filled with quartz sand. This is a low-frequency amplifier which was assembled using aluminum chassis. Of course, do not pay attention to label. For Figaro, it's a high-end Chinese manufacturer, but from this high-end one, only the body has been left intact. It is pretty good. It's indistinguishable from any other big-name manufacturer because it's just a piece of aluminum. All that's left on La Figaro is the manufacturer's plate itself, here in principle, even probably here. The potentiometer that adjusts the level of the amplifier. Well, it's probably worth as much as it is. The amplifier from the company, La Figaro. Yeah, that's a fantastic option. An amplifier that gives 20 to 20. Those are 20 Hz to 20 kHz, that is, of genuine ones. There are not the ones about which some third-party manufacturers are talking about. There are real 20 Hz. As far as the cable is concerned, just take a look at this savage wire gauge spacing made from 750 grade silver. The conductor is not parallel, it's a conductor balanced. That is, the conductor has got a central core, and the braid is such a scheme. Of course, it's unique in itself. It's used in recording studios as professional equipment at home. In high-end, in ultra-high-end, in everything what is available and can be bought for money. It's not freely available, trust me. As far as the interconnector is concerned, well, that's a topic for separate discussion. It's a monofilament. It's not just a monofilament, it's a monofilament made of 999 grade silver. Right now, it's extremely challenging. There is almost no corporation in the world which manufactures such purity or domestic usage. Let's say for domestic usage appliances, even of audiophile class, even of high-end class. This thing is totally out of this world. This is just a golden standard and a masterpiece of producer's craftsmanship, which we will talk about a bit later. If you think that such a manufacturer, let's say like Lab Cable, is selling 999 silver grade, then you have been misled, believe me. To me, it's a regular bimetallic copper alloy with some sort of a stuffing that's at most coated silver grades 3, 4, 5, 10 nines. But the point is that is the other thing. However, it has got a real effect of superconductivity. It is a unique set in a single copy. As far as the interconnector is concerned, naturally it has got a signal separation system. The so-called longitudinal transformation system is used here. Apart from the fact that 4 nines grade silver cable is used, it uses the coils on the output from the device. Preamplifier in this case, it's Hugo 2, and the input is a low-frequency amplifier in a pure analog tube. Signal is picked up by coils, pushed through the entire length of the conductor, and additionally amplified and restored by the coils at the output. In this case, it's not just an effect, superconductivity. This is the recovery of the signal over the length of the conductor, that is. This system, of course, is far from new. It's known, but not in everyday life. It's purely a form of military technology that you will never find in the everyday life. Well, I can also talk about the casing of transformer. Force factor in this device is 1 to 3. By moving the linings, it regulates the force, that is. It really affects the sound. You won't believe it, it really affects it. As far as the sound goes, it's not just a little thing. The lining of the transformer. Look at the mains transformer, the cable, and yes, it's 750 grade silver. Well, here is the famous and beloved favorite Abyss 1266 PHI TC. Well, what is it really about? Speaking of the uniqueness of these headphones, as I have already said, the Abyss 1266 PHI TC is an American manufacturer JPS Labs. Most headphones, in principle, they sound characteristically electrostatic, some kind of dynamic. Headphones are a new technology. This is a fashion trend. They are planar headphones, although in principle they have already been developed quite a long time ago. This is the third version of dynamic drivers, open directly planar, so-called headphones. What makes them unique? Well, first of all, they give the highest possible darkness of the sound, and sound in a system that's able to pump them should be, well, a system like this, which we're describing at this moment and that we're now talking about, allows them to fully open up and make them sound almost or with accuracy like high-end freestanding devices. Well, of course, volume control is achieved through a system transformer circuit to 5 volts without compression. So basically, it's a fantastic, unique performance for any headphones at all, and when there are reviews of such headphones, and unfortunately, these reviews are achieved with Stax SR009S. Well, frankly, you're asking yourself a question, whether this review was reasonable at all. So, first of all, get your ears into gear with the hardware and then we'll talk. What kind of Orpheus are there? What kind of Staxes can compare to them? In principle, there are no headphones that can be put on a par with them and next to them. It's in their 20 Hz reproduction range, low bandwidth, and that's because of the complete lack of any resonance. Strictly speaking, in this range of headphones, it can be said that this is a forbidden level, as a matter of fact. Well, no. Pay attention to the exclusive Room's headphone stands. Naturally, the cups are made of steel, aluminum frame with the possibility of adjustment. Let's call these headphones, honestly, the best in the world. And yes, Sennheiser Orpheus, they will never reproduce such low frequency, which resembles 20 Hz. In the production of the Sennheiser Orpheus, the original circuitry is used. These headphones are electrostatic. Electroactivity is the problem of all electrostatic headphones. This is the lack of the necessary range. Then, there, in the region of 20 Hz, it reproduces the sound. Unfortunately, you'll never get such a deep bass on absolutely any electrostats. And yes, Stax SR009S and Sennheiser Orpheus headphones are all good. They are absolutely great headphones in the generation of release options. But that one real genuine deep bass will be provided only by planar type headphones. The most outstanding and perfect headphones, yes, naturally in the low frequency range close to 20 Hz. They are superior to the Sennheiser. Just by several orders of magnitude, those are fantastic headphones which need to be opened up by a normal system of amplification. Not squeakers, which use, well, in most cases, and let's say Luxman or Chord, which in principle are not analog. They're not amplifiers, and they're not able to unlock the potential of such headphones. Naturally, as far as the Sennheiser Orpheus are concerned, there is no aluminum frame, and so even if they were to reproduce in the 20 Hz region of any signal, they'd give a crazy resonance. Try it. Compare the ones I've listened to and trust me on these headphones. Just put them on the back of your head. It's a matter of fact. Well, whoever couldn't pump them up, who didn't have enough wire gauge, who had non-vacuum based amplifier devices, what kind of problems? Sorry about that. Amplifier Sennheiser Orpheus. It's a hybrid after all. The amplifier has no tube at the output, which, in this case, approximates this ridge. It really does recover the sound, because the sound of transistor has got an uneven amplitude. It has got a chaotic one, that is. The tube has got an even amplitude, though. We have got a live sound. We can understand where is the difference. Stuffing is literally the majority of amplifiers that are now sold on the market, including the high-end, ultra-high-end of any level that money can buy. Well, perhaps it is created on the element base from AliExpress. This is unfortunately the fact. If you consider any expensive amplifier, for example Luxman and Chord Dave, even the top-of-the-range one, which is considered to be a headphone amplifier, and the best DAC, which is supposedly the best in the world, well, it's a debatable question, of course. It has the simplest elements, base of which has no transformer systems. It doesn't use expensive conductors made of pure metal samples. If we'll look under the bonnet, we'll see simply spare parts from AliExpress. Unfortunately, it is the case. This is a signal source and a pre-amplifier. Hugo 2 is used. Naturally, it's not here. It's fixed. Well, that's the misfortune of all manufacturers, including other manufacturers. It is not the exception. It is the pseudo-new mode. Can you believe it's completely different? Works now. The sound is fantastic. Yes, I do love the Chord. Actually, Chord produces awesome devices. In this case, that little thing can even handle the stationary system. The only thing it lacks behind in is, that's more like it, is total signal output. Well, that concerns the streamer. Yeah, it's quite a handy thing. I've got a couple of micro SD cards in here, up to 4 terabytes of sound, and we're preloaded. We get the opportunity, adjustment effort with the remote control, which is basically quite a handy device. In order to educate the public on such confusing matters of audiophilia, I'll tell you there are 7 orders of power supply. In this case, this is the 5th order of power supply. Moving into the 6th order of power supply here. They are provided directly by the conductors. In this amplifier, all of the stable components have been used. This is a military-grade manufacturing technology, so-called special and military classes. Multi-chokes and conductor lines are all 750 grade silver, of course. Also, there are balanced silver power transformers, magnesium output cores, alloys with hydrogen annealing, which give in the end the effect over permeability. Inside the device, there are elements of rare earth materials. The power supply of the lamps is directly executed through the experimental organization of filament currents and rest and stabilization through quality selection of circuit elements, what gives the possibility of avoiding manual adjustment mode not. For any money anywhere, no one for you will ever sell the amplifier's power class. Even 4th or 5th. Yeah, that's the one. 5th, 6th power class. A 6th power class certainly exists. Another is the 7th. But for amplifiers, for headphones, no one, I repeat, no one does not even use a 4th power class. You can't buy it for whatever this equipment costs. Naturally, we are limited to certain dimensions of the chassis, which would be the size of the chassis in more than 2 times the dimensions we would have. They would fit in about 6 months to a year, when we find one that fits. 7th level of power supply involves 2 silver choke cascade boards and an information lamp. Then the signal at the output will be completely rid of any humps. Well, and the voltmeter will already be simple. Approximate a perfect linear amplitude. So here we are. Interconnect monocore, 2 conductors each, directly to each channel. Well, standard series connectors, of course. The connectors themselves are silver soldered and are our unique system. The transformation of the conductor itself is 3 nines, which are silver and transformers naturally. Longitudinal transformation wound through mica on the monoconductor. What is it needed for? It's there to recover the signal. Those are any wires as they are, well, something like an equalizer, that is to say. They in some way change the component. The signal changes its voltage at the output. In this case, silver of this grade creates a superconductivity effect. Longitudinal transformation system restores the signal to its original form as it is. And in the end, it practically gets the effect of the absence of the wire as such a good conductor. That's when it's practically imperceptible, as if it were not there. Well, and now let's talk directly a little bit about the headphone wire, and yeah, it's certainly a crazy caliber one. Just have to pump the data. The ears are naturally not parallel. The conductor that is used most of the time, it's balanced. The conductor and silver are naturally also 750 grade samples. Since this is not a monocore, it has got more or less reasonable degree of flexibility. In general, this conductor is protected from any mechanical effects. This is a fluoroplastic vein, which is tightened along the total cross-sectional diameter as well. Generally, signal recovery system is also present, just like in the interconnecting block. It's achieved with the help of the 999 grade silver monocore, and the conductor itself is wound through the mica. The conductor is balanced. Jack is also there on each channel system, picking up the signal directly at the input to the headphones. Such a design cable is using a balanced direct conductor. It implies a complete blockade of all internal interference, and any external interference is cut off. In this case, electromagnetic interference from electrical appliances. Anything at all. In principle, even geomagnetic influence is naturally soldering all the connectors too. Made of silver, which generally can't be said of all the other manufacturers who just crimp at. They basically only have crimp contacts, which are all made here. Also by ultra high-end. Now for the last one, the setup, and yeah, this is the madness of it. Really, the actual cross-section of the mains cable, as if you can imagine when I had this taken out and shown to me, I was just turned around. The shock of the diameter of the cross-section is practically in my pinky finger. What this magic cylinder is? Well, it would appear to be. No, it's not like that. It's just that there are 2 galvanically decoupled transformers which practically burn out everything. Parasitic interference in our power supply networks. Well, of course, the cable is made of 750 silver grade. And the most surprising thing is that I'm not at all surprised in principle. What struck me was that in the right contact, there must always be a phase. And yes, it is for the alternating current. Strange as it may seem, if there will be no phase here, then the plug must be turned 180 degrees.